Thanks for coming back. This video is by request. What do you look for when you're going to inspect your first investment property? Let's get into it. Number one, it all starts with you walking up to your first property. Take a good look at the property from the street. Take a look at it. Make sure that the house actually looks okay, that it looks the same as it did in the pictures that you were probably looking at before you went to go see the house. All right, see that the house is not overgrown. It can also give you an idea for how long the property's been sitting on the market, if they were telling you the truth or not. Because sometimes they won't be so truthful, even though it's easy information to get. You'd be surprised how silly people are. All right. So what are you looking for? Depending on what the exterior of the house is built out of, whether it's siding, stucco, wood shingles, there's various types of sidings. Look at it, see what it looks like structurally. You can obviously see if there's something wrong on the siding. Okay, that's the very first thing you want to look at. Okay, it's just a visual thing. Remember one thing, and if anything you get out of this video, you are not an expert. If you're an expert, that's a different story, but I'm assuming that you are not an expert. All right, if you're not an expert, don't be cheap to get inspections. Inspections cost you money in the beginning, but a proper inspection will save you money in the long run. So don't be cheap getting inspections, okay? Remember that. Don't be cheap getting inspections. Number two, your roof. Here's some examples of bad looking roofs, okay? You have old roofs that you can see the age in them. Look for the layers. Look at the edges, see if there's more than one layer of shingles on top of the roof. So I've actually seen a house that had 7 layers of shingles on them, and it was ridiculous. The roof was sagging from the weight of those shingles. All right, so don't get caught by that. What are you looking for in the roof? Looking for sagging, discoloring. You're looking for missing shingles. All that gives you is information on the condition of the roof. Also, don't be afraid to ask. Ask, how old is the roof? When was the last time work was done to the roof? Okay, me personally, after some experience, I prefer to get a roof that's in pretty bad condition. This way I can put the price of a whole new roof into the price of the house. I can take it out of the price. If the house is selling, if I'm looking at a house that's 60 grand, I'm gonna say, listen, you need a whole new roof. Okay, you need a whole new roof. I'm gonna take at least 10 grand off that number, and I'm gonna put a new roof on the house. And I know that I started at day one with a new roof, and not on year 15 or year 17, where in the next couple of years I'm gonna have problems. So if you can, try to put yourself in a position where you can financially put a brand new roof on your new house. So this way you don't have to worry about it. Number 3, windows. Very important. Windows show you a lot. Just by standing in front of all the windows in the house, they can tell you a lot of stories. They can tell you if there's leakage. They can tell you if there's foundation issues underneath. If the foundation is sagging underneath those windows, the windows won't sit straight. All right. So check your windows. Most likely you want to change all the windows anyway. It does do a lot to a property when you're force appreciating it. What you're looking for is any sort of damage under the windows, above the windows, on the window sills. There are plenty of examples online if you want to go and see what to actually look for visually. I'm looking for rot, mold. Also a really good place to look for termite damage. All right, and also just on a side note, a termite infestation is usually very localized and can be treated. It's not the end of the world unless it's out of control. Obviously there's some cases, but in most cases it's not the end of the world. If you see a windowsill that has termite damage, all you got to do is replace the windowsill, treat the area, and you're usually good to go. Number 4, walking inside the house, you want to look at your floors. What are you looking for? You're looking for buckled floors, sagging floors. If the floors are not in good condition, they can always be redone. You can put a floor on top of a floor in some cases. Not really recommended, but it can be done if you don't have the funds. If you don't make sure that your floors are okay in your first deal, it can bury you. The floors are pretty expensive if you have to put new ones, and you really don't want to spend all your capital on putting floors down. You definitely want to have money set aside for flooring, but again, if you need to completely rip up floors and change all new floors, that can get really expensive really fast. So make sure that your floors are at least half decent when you're coming into a new project. Number 5, Number 5 is a problem that I experienced. Okay, you want to check your water lines coming into the property. Most cases, the water to the house is going to be off. My suggestion is try to see if you can get the water turned on to see if it's working. I just want to see that the water line is coming into the house. It's a good idea also, and again, this goes back to inspections. It's a good idea to bring somebody in and inspect your main water line inside the house, and an inspector can definitely give you that information. I spent a lot of money on something that I could have avoided from the beginning. I could have priced it out of the price of the house. I could have done a lot of things. All right, so as far as your main water line, make sure that you have water that comes into the house. All right, that's a very important thing to check. And to me, that's number 5 on my list. Number 6, so something really important. Okay, if anything, this should be higher up on the list, but it's number 6 on my list. All right, it's your sewer lines. Without any question, it costs a couple of $100. Bring somebody to come in and inspect your sewer lines. They'll come in, they'll snake a camera through the systems and check it out. In my situation, I had roots growing into my lines. It wasn't so bad. I got lucky, but you want to be prepared for that stuff. So definitely get your sewer lines inspected. Number 7 is pretty simple. It's your plumbing system. Okay, the plumbing system. Look for any funny business, because if anything, when it comes to plumbing, people love to do it yourself. And you'll find in a lot of properties, there's a lot of duct tape, electrical tape. There's just a lot of weird looking things that are being done with plumbing because people feel that they can do it themselves when it comes to plumbing. All right. So either way, not a big deal. Just make sure that it's all there, because chances are you're going to want to update it anyway. So I wouldn't put too much time into it. Just make sure that there's no funny business, so this way you don't have to. So this way you won't find anything wrong later on down the line. Number 8 is also very important. Now, why is this so far up on my list? Pretty simple. You're checking the plumbing, the sewers. You're in the basement of the house, right? So when you're in the basement of the house, you want to start looking at the foundation of the property. Look at your walls. Okay, look to see if there's water coming into the basement. Look to see if the walls are sagging in. You can visibly see if there's any damage. A good idea when it comes to foundations. Also, you can very easily go and get an inspector to come and check the structure of your property and your foundation at the same time. The foundation is super important, because if you have a problem with your foundation, that's just going to be a problem that will never end for you. Okay. Another way to check to see if you have foundation issues, like I said with the windows, you can walk through the house. If you can look to see if there's any doors that are like not sitting straight. You look for cracks in the ceilings, cracks in the floors. A good piece of advice, what I used to do for my buyers, I used to always check inside the closets. When you look inside the closets, usually you can see cracks and stuff inside closets. It's funny, because people, when they fix and try to hide damages, a lot of times they miss the inside of the closet. So you go inside the closet and check. If you see cocked windows, cocked doorways that don't want to open and close right, there can be some foundation issues. So get it inspected. All right, number 9, your electrical systems. Your electrical systems is a lot like your plumbing systems. People like to do things themselves when it comes to electrical, and they'll hire guys that don't really know what they're doing and make a mess out of the electrical systems. Okay, chances are you're going to want to update and replace your electricals, but not with that guy. But for inspection purposes, first thing you want to do, look for the fuse box. Okay, look at the fuse box. Is it new? Is it old? Is it updated to 110, or is it a 220? You could ask all these questions to whoever's showing you the house. Usually they'll have those answers. Look to see if there's knob and tube. Knob and tube is, those are already fire hazards, because they're old systems, and we don't want to use them at the end of the day. So either way, you're going to update your system. But walking into the basement, look to see if there's a mess. There's a mess of wires. Now for sure you have to replace the entire system. I would use that as a deferral on the payment of the house. You know that to rewire an entire house can be pricey, but if you do it from the beginning, also it gives you some sort of security on because if you're using this as a rental property, you know that your electrical systems are in good shape. You don't have to worry about your tenants burning your house down. Number 10 is also pretty simple. Number 10 is your mechanicals. We're talking about your water heater, your furnace. These are items that you can actually walk up to them, visually see if they're new or old. Most of them have stickers on them showing their last date of service. If they're serviced up, great, you can service them again and keep using them. If you can't find those stickers of the last time they're serviced, you can still have them serviced, but chances are you're probably going to want to replace those units. Furnaces are pretty expensive, so if you have one that's good, that can be saved, as far as servicing it, that's good. In my case, I was able to, I probably saved a couple of $1,000s by just servicing my water heater and my furnace. All right, so you can save a lot of money with that. So that wraps up the 10 things you should be doing when you're looking at a property. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, please share, subscribe, like the video, hit that like button.